Hey guys, welcome back to Forge It. Follow up on the last video, we went through and we built the body for the ribbon burner forge. Only thing different on here is I went ahead and marked down both sides 3/4 of an inch in from the top, and we'll talk a little bit more about why we did that in a little bit. Outside of that, I've spent some time and went ahead and put together a form here to go ahead and mold the rest of the ribbon burner. So in this video, we're going to go ahead and cover what I did to make this actual form, how we're going to mix up the Mizzou Castable Refractory, as well as blow this form apart so you guys can see what else is going on here. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, please give me a like on the video. If you want to stay updated on the channel, it would help me out a lot if you guys hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notifications whenever we post up. That way you can stay in the know what we got going on over here. So let's go ahead and let me bring the camera in a little bit closer so that you can see what's going on with this form, and then we can go from there. Okay guys, so here's our form right here. As you can see, it's just some scrap wood I have laying around that I went ahead and put together to be able to fit around our forged body here. I haven't gone through and attached this top piece, so let me go ahead and lift this off. Set this over to the side. So what we got going on here is this is just a piece of 2x8 that I had laying around that I cut down to fit. From there, I took this blue tape and then marked out the size of the actual forge burner. And then let me bring the camera in a little bit here. Okay, so if you can see here, I just marked out a bunch of lines on our tape. First and foremost, I did 3/8 of an inch inside of the entire outside size of the burner. The reason why I did that is when we cut our holes on, let's see if we can get this in focus here, on our actual burner, everything is 3/8 in from the outside edge here to give us a lip for the refractory to grab onto. And spaced everything out. I drew 3 lines across the entire burner surface, piece of tape, however you want to look at it, to make sure all of our holes are in a line from there. And I just divided up the 2 halves of the burner into 3 rows of 5 holes. And I went through with a 5/16 inch drill bit to go ahead, and it's just about a 1/4 inch into the wood, just enough to get these crayons to sit down into the wood and kind of hold them up vertical for us. From here, I just need to attach the upper ring back on. So set this guy down, and I just need to get that drilled into place. And I'm probably going to go around with a hot glue gun and just run the seams just as an extra caution to make sure we don't have any refractory material leaking out of the form. But once we get the refractory material in the form, we're just going to take our forged body, set it on top, and tap it into place until the refractory, or until the form comes up to this 3/4 inch mark that we put here on the side of the burner body. So let me go ahead and get final assembly on this form, and we'll come back and then we can go from there. Okay guys, so I went ahead and screwed down the top part of the form, and I went around all my seams with hot glue and just ran a bead of hot glue all the way around. It's probably overkill, but I'd rather be cautious than make a huge mess and have this leaking and lose refractory material here. From here, our next step is going to be just take some WD-40, and we need to spray down the inside of the mold as well as all the crayons. And this is basically just going to act as a mold release to help everything come apart easy. Okay guys, so I got my refractory material in here. I'm going to err on the side of a little too light and mix this up in 2 batches. Just so I'm not mixing up too much and having excess that I don't need. But from here, we're just going to add a little bit of water. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour in a little bit of water, like so. And we're going to mix that up and kind of gauge our consistency here. Again, a little bit of water goes a long way with this stuff. Okay guys, so we got this about the consistency that I'm looking for. Again, this is a little too wet for what you'd be wanting to actually line your forge, but because we're putting this into a mold, I think this will work out perfect for me here. But just so you can see what we're working with here. Okay, let's bring our mold over here. Make sure you guys can see that. And from here, we're just gonna go ahead and pour in the refractory into the mold. We're just going to kind of agitate everything around, make sure we don't have any air pockets at the bottom. Careful poking around. My crayons are moving around a little bit here. I should have gone a little bit more wet than what we went with. A little bit more water. So now I'm just going through and then straightening all our crayons. And in case I didn't cover this already, basically what our crayons are going to be is they are going to be placeholders in the refractory for what will be effectively our jets in the final burner here. So again, to reference Old Hickory Forge, he went through and then drilled all the crayons out, which is an option. I was honestly thinking about going through and just coming in, and when I go to temper, when I go to cure the form, I was going to go through and try to just melt the crayons out. Would be another option. But we'll see how things go. Okay guys, so we got the form filled up here. I moved to the floor where I could put a trash bag down and try not to make a mess all of the shop. We got our burner body here. And then so now, like we were talking about, we're just gonna go ahead and press the burner body down into the form. And we wanna make sure that we're coming up 3/4 of an inch on the side of the burner here to our lines that we threw down on either side of the burner body to make sure that we're getting enough grab on these lips of the refractory material, okay? This may slide in, or I may have to tap it down with a mallet, but we'll see how she goes. Okay, so she's in there. Now we just need to let this sit and cure for a minimum of 2 days, okay? And then once this is done curing, we can come back to this and see how everything's going. Okay guys, we're back here playing with the burner again here. It's actually been 4 days since we went ahead and actually got all this molded up. The temperatures dropped off pretty bad on day number 3. I just want to make sure we gave it plenty of time to get everything cured. So next up, we're just going to go ahead and bring that camera in so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to pull it out of the mold and let's see if this all worked. So now, the only thing holding this thing together should be the hot glue that we ran on all the seams. And if you remember, we sprayed all that WD-40 in here. That should have worked as a great mold release here. That looks like it came out pretty awesome. I'm still gonna need to go ahead, put this thing in the oven, about 200 degrees for a few hours. We're just looking to cure the rest of the moisture out of the refractory here, but you don't want it to get hot enough that the remaining moisture will boil. So that's why we're going for 200 degrees here. And right now, while it's just a little soft, I'm just knocking off the excess here that was trapped in those gaps in the wood. Old Hickory Forge mentioned using a farrier's rasp to walk around and round in the corners. I don't have one, but I'll see what I can find. Just something rough, just to kind of round off the corners a little bit, clean everything up. And again, to reference Old Hickory Forge, he mentioned drilling out these crayons. What I'm thinking is when I put this in the oven, I'll just make sure to put a decent amount of aluminum foil down underneath it on a baking sheet. But I'm hoping that the crayons will just melt out, and in that way I'm not going to go through and drill each one of these out. But we'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. Okay guys, it's the next day. I wound up letting the burner sit in the oven at 200 degrees yesterday for right about 4 hours, and another hour and a half just letting it cool down without opening the oven. We got all the moisture out of it. Good news is the wax melted for the most part out of all the orifices while it was in the oven, so that's good news. I'm gonna go ahead now. I picked up a long 5/16 inch drill bit, and I'm just gonna chase the holes in the burner real quick, and then should be good to go. So let me go ahead and bring the camera in so you guys can see what I'm doing here, and we can go from there. Okay guys, and that's all we got for this week's video. This burner at this point should be good to go to test fire and just prove that it works. I don't currently have the plumbing completed to be able to run the burner. As soon as I get that done, we can go ahead and test fire the burner, just proof of concept, make sure it all works. If this video has been helpful in any way for you, please give us a like, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. That will help the channel out, help us give you better content in the future. If you have any questions about anything that I've shown in the video so far, please by all means throw it up in the comments. I'll do my best to answer anything that I can for you. And then make sure to look forward. I got some more videos coming out that will include building the new forge, like the rest of the forge that this burner is going to be going into. So again, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us, and have a wonderful day, and look forward to seeing you again soon.